Welcome back to the Social Boost Lab podcast. We are on episode number 6. Today we are going to be talking about all of the exciting updates to Google Ads. So we are going to break it all down for you and explain what these changes mean for your business and for your advertising strategy in 2025.
We've got some really fascinating changes to talk about, especially with how Google is integrating AI into pretty much every part of the platform.
Yeah, and it really seems like the entire search landscape is evolving too. Consumers aren't searching the same way they used to.
Yeah.
We are seeing a lot less reliance on just, simple keywords.
Right. It's true. People are getting so much more comfortable with just talking to their devices, whether it's voice search or, even typing out these longer, more conversational search queries. We are seeing a lot more queries that are like 5 words or even more. And those longer queries are growing so much faster than the shorter ones.
Which makes sense. I mean, I know I do that all the time. I find myself asking Google these long questions, almost as if I'm talking to a real person.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's not just text anymore. Either we have visual search too with Google Lens, and it's crazy because we're actually seeing that like 1 in 4 of those visual searches actually has commercial intent. So people are literally shopping with their cameras.
Yeah, it's definitely changing how we think about SEO and how we target our ads.
Yeah.
It's not just about matching keywords anymore. It's about really understanding the intent behind the search. Like what problem is that person trying to solve?
Absolutely. Instead of just focusing on those isolated keywords, really try to think about like what are the underlying questions and the needs that are actually driving those searches? What are those potential customers trying to solve? What information are they actually looking for? By addressing those needs in your content and in your ad copy, well, you're naturally going to attract the right people.
It's about understanding intent and, creating content that really aligns with that. And, we can't talk about Google Ads without talking about the elephant in the room AI, right? It's everywhere we look on the platform.
It really is everywhere. Google is putting a ton of money into AI research and development, and they're integrating AI into products like Performance Max and DemandGen, and even like weaving it into the core search experience itself.
It's incredible to see how fast things are moving. Every week, there's a new AI-powered tool or feature being released.
It's true. And the focus is really on using AI to do things like, streamline your creative development and optimize your media buying and even like enhance how we measure campaign performance. So it's getting involved in pretty much every aspect.
Let's talk about those creative tools for a second, because I am super intrigued by the new conversational experience they have for search campaigns.
Yeah.
Like, what are the implications of having AI, essentially helping you write your ad copy?
It's honestly a game changer, especially for like smaller businesses or people who, don't have a dedicated marketing team. Imagine having an AI assistant that's like right there with you, not only helping you craft that compelling ad copy, but also suggesting variations that are tailored to different audience segments. This tool, it's powered by these advanced language models, and it analyzes all your input and it generates like this high-performing copy that's designed to resonate with your audience.
So it's not just about automation. It's really about leveraging AI to actually like enhance your messaging and to connect with people in a more effective way.
Exactly. And it's not just limited to text ads either. Google is using AI to actually empower advertisers to, create visual content. Imagine being able to just describe what you want your ad image to look like, and then the AI will generate multiple options for you based on what you said. This text-to-image technology, it's getting so sophisticated, so fast, it's amazing. And it's opening up so many new possibilities for advertisers to create these like eye-catching visuals without needing to be a designer themselves.
Yeah, I've seen some of those tools, and the results are honestly pretty impressive. Like, you don't need any design skills to create something that looks professional. And that's a huge advantage, especially for, businesses with limited resources.
Totally. And even if, you prefer working with your own images, Google Ads has these AI-powered tools that let you actually refine and edit those images. So you could do things like remove unwanted elements or, adjust the backgrounds or even make sure your visuals are aligned with your, seasonal campaigns or whatever you're doing. It gives you so much more control and flexibility.
It seems like they are really trying to find that balance between, the power of automation and also giving advertisers, the tools they need to actually maintain control of their brand identity and messaging,
A delicate balance for sure. Google has been super busy redesigning the shopping tab on mobile devices, and it's becoming much more visual and much more personalized now. For users who are signed in, they're starting to see these personalized feeds and curated deals based on their interests and past behavior, which I think, really enhances the whole browsing experience.
I've definitely noticed that shift towards a more visual and kind of curated shopping experience.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right? I mean, we spend so much time on our phones these days, and social commerce is just exploding.
Exactly. And one of the coolest things they've introduced is this virtual try-on feature, which is powered by Google's really sophisticated AI models. And this is awesome because it basically lets shoppers see how clothing would actually look on a range of models with different body types and sizes. So instead of just seeing that, static image on a website, you can actually get a more realistic sense of how a garment would drape and fit on someone who looks more like you.
I love that feature. It really helps bridge the gap between shopping online and shopping in a store. Because, being able to see how something would look on a body type that's similar to yours, it just makes you so much more confident about making that purchase.
For sure. It's all about creating a more enjoyable and, hopefully less stressful online shopping experience. And this technology isn't just limited to clothes either. Imagine being able to virtually try on shoes or sunglasses or even furniture before you buy it. The possibilities are really exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. Okay, so moving on to video advertising, which is an area that just continues to grow and grow in importance, especially with the rise of platforms like YouTube Shorts.
Oh, absolutely. Video is king right now. And those short-form videos on platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, they are just seeing insane engagement. We are talking about billions of daily views and a massive global audience.
So how is Google, helping advertisers to actually tap into this trend?
So they've introduced several new tools. One that I think is really cool is called video enhancements. And it uses AI to actually automatically create different versions of your existing videos. So let's say you upload one video to Google Ads. Well, the AI can create versions that are optimized for different placements and viewing experiences. Like it'll flip it or shorten it to fit perfectly within a YouTube short or, whatever placement you are using.
So it's like having an editor who's working 24/7 to make sure your videos look their best everywhere.
Exactly. It saves so much time and effort, and it makes sure your content is being presented in the most effective way possible. And on top of that, you can generate captions and translate your videos automatically. So, you can reach a global audience without any extra work.
That's incredible. And speaking of making video creation easier, they also have that new voiceover feature now, too, where you just provide a script and the AI generates a voiceover for you. Like, it's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. It's so useful for businesses that, maybe don't have the budget to hire professional voice actors. And what's cool is you can actually choose from a bunch of different voices and languages. So you can experiment and see what resonates best with your audience.
So it's about giving advertisers more flexibility and more control over their video content.
Exactly. And speaking of control, along with all these new tools and features, Google's been really focused on giving advertisers more control and transparency over their campaigns in general. Because with all this automation happening, people want to make sure they're still in the driver's seat.
That makes sense. So what are some of the ways that Google's giving advertisers more control?
Well, for example, in search campaigns, they've introduced these brand inclusions and exclusions. So, it gives you much more granular control over your targeting. You can make sure your ads appear only on searches that are actually related to your brand or your specific products, and that helps avoid those unwanted associations.
Yeah, that's super important because you want to be able to, cast a wide net with your targeting, but you also want to make sure you're protecting your brand and avoiding those irrelevant placements.
Exactly. And they've been making similar advancements in Performance Max campaigns, too. They are really addressing some of the concerns that advertisers had about transparency and control with that platform.
What are some examples of the changes they've made to Performance Max to give advertisers more control?
So one of the biggest things is that they now allow you to use campaign-level negative keywords in Performance Max. Which is something a lot of advertisers were asking for. It gives you much more fine-grained control over your targeting, and it helps make sure your ads are only being shown to the right people.
So you can exclude certain terms or phrases that, might trigger your ads to appear in irrelevant contexts.
Exactly. And they've also added support for IP exclusions, so you can actually prevent your ads from being shown to specific IP addresses. And account-level placement exclusions now apply to the search partner network as well, so you have more control over where your ads appear across the entire Google Ads ecosystem.
Okay, so they're really giving advertisers more ways to fine-tune their targeting and make sure their ads are appearing in the right places.
They are. And it's essential for building trust and confidence in the platform. As AI plays a bigger and bigger role in advertising, transparency and control are just going to become more and more important.
Definitely. Now, before we start talking about bidding strategies, I do want to touch on data measurement and privacy because this is a huge topic in digital marketing right now.
Yeah.
And it's an area where Google has made some pretty big moves.
Absolutely. It's top of mind for everyone these days. Google gets it. They understand that first-party data is just so crucial for better performance and measurement, especially in a world that's, becoming increasingly privacy-focused.
So how are they helping advertisers leverage that first-party data more effectively, while still respecting user privacy?
One of the biggest developments, I think, is the launch of Google Ads Data Manager. It's essentially this centralized hub that just simplifies the whole process of connecting your first-party data sources to your Google Ads account.
So you can bring in data from your CRM, your website analytics, your email marketing platform, all in one place.
All in one place. And it helps make sure that, your audience lists and your conversion data are all complete and accurate, which is essential for effective targeting and measurement.
So it's about having a unified view of your customer data and then being able to use that data to create, more personalized and effective campaigns.
Exactly. And to address the privacy concerns, they've introduced something called confidential matching for customer match, within Google Ads Data Manager. And this is huge because it means they can securely process your first-party data for use in Google Ads while keeping it encrypted and unseen even by Google.
So you can upload all that valuable customer data like email addresses without worrying about, privacy breaches or compromising that sensitive information.
Exactly. It adds an extra layer of security and it ensures that your data is handled responsibly. They even have an option now that lets you encrypt the data yourself, so you have complete control over its security.
Wow, that's impressive. So they are really committed to giving advertisers the tools they need to navigate all the complexities of data privacy while still being able to leverage the power of their first-party data.
Oh, absolutely. And they're constantly working on new privacy-centric solutions, too. Like, they have confidential matching for enhanced conversions for web, which is in beta right now. It's all about finding those ways to protect user privacy while still, enabling advertisers to measure their campaign effectiveness and reach the right people.
That's a delicate balance to strike.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're making good progress.
They are.
Okay, so let's move on to troubleshooting and diagnostics. Because, even with the most advanced tools in the world, sometimes things just go wrong.
Oh, for sure. It happens. And that's why Google introduced these tag diagnostics for the Google tag. This tool, it's available in Google Tag Manager, Google Ads, Google Analytics, pretty much everywhere. And it can quickly identify and troubleshoot, any potential issues with your Google Tag implementation. So it basically streamlines the whole debugging process and ensures that your data is flowing correctly.
So it's like having a built-in mechanic for your website tracking.
Yeah.
It can save you so much time and frustration.
Absolutely. And they've also fully rolled out measurement diagnostics for enhanced conversions for leads in Google Ads. So it helps you monitor your setup and make sure, you're able to take action based on the offline data you share with Google.
So again, it's all about providing advertisers with greater visibility and control over their data and making sure that everything's working as it should be.
That's right. And to improve reporting for lead generation campaigns specifically, they've actually introduced new lead funnel reporting. So it gives you more visibility into offline conversions when you share qualified and converted leads with Google.
So you can see the whole picture of how your lead generation campaigns are performing both online and offline.
Exactly. And for those who are concerned with, data privacy regulations, they've actually made advancements with advanced consent mode. It now includes these new parameters for sending consent signals to Google for, ad personalization and remarketing purposes.
So it's all about making sure you comply with those, ever-evolving data privacy regulations and giving users, more control over how their data is being used.
For sure. And they've even made it easier to enable and maintain that advanced consent mode. They introduced this integrated CMP setup in the Google Tag UI. So you can connect your CMP and configure all those consent settings without having to write any code.
That's a huge time saver. It takes a lot of the complexity out of navigating those data privacy regulations. But if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, what are some of the key takeaways that can help advertisers prepare for the future of Google Ads?
Okay, so one of the biggest takeaways, I think, is just to embrace AI.
Yeah, it's clear that AI is becoming, increasingly integrated into every aspect of Google Ads. And, it's not about being afraid of AI or seeing it as this replacement for human marketers.
It's about figuring out how to leverage AI effectively to enhance your marketing efforts. So familiarize yourself with all the AI-powered tools that are available within Google Ads. Experiment with them. See how they can streamline your work and provide you with, those deeper insights into your performance.
It's really about using AI to, augment your skills and free up your time so you can focus on those things that only humans can do well. Things like strategy and creativity and building those real relationships with your customers.
Yeah. And another key takeaway is the importance of adapting to the evolving search landscape. Like we talked about earlier, people are searching differently these days. They are using longer, more complex queries, and they're increasingly turning to visual search. So we need to move beyond, just targeting those short keywords.
Right. Think about the intent behind those searches. What are people really trying to find? What questions are they asking?
Exactly. Understand that intent and then create content that actually aligns with it. You'll naturally attract the right audience that way.
And don't neglect visual search. Explore how you can use tools like Google Lens to reach your target audience in those new and engaging ways.
It's all about staying ahead of the curve and understanding where consumer behavior is headed. So with all of that in mind, let's talk about some of the specific strategies that advertisers can use to actually succeed in this, ever-evolving landscape. One area that I think is really interesting is the rise of personalized advertising. As consumers demand those more relevant and engaging experiences, personalization is just becoming more and more important. And now, with all the advancements in AI and machine learning, we actually have the ability to deliver those highly personalized ad experiences that cater to, individual needs and preferences. So, we can target ads based on demographics, interests, past behavior, purchase history, even real-time context. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And it allows us to deliver the right message to the right person at the right time.
And that level of personalization, it can significantly improve ad relevance, engagement, and ultimately conversions.
It's not just about showing people ads they might be interested in. It's about creating an experience that's more meaningful and valuable for them. Okay, so another strategy that I think is becoming increasingly important is omnichannel marketing. Because, let's face it, consumers are interacting with brands across multiple channels these days.
Oh, for sure. They might see your ad on social media, then visit your website, then make a purchase in your store. It's everywhere.
So we need to be thinking about how to create a seamless and consistent experience across all of those touch points.
Absolutely. You need a unified view of the customer journey, and you have to make sure that your messaging and your creative are consistent across every single channel. Yeah. It's about breaking down those silos and, creating that cohesive brand experience.
And, AI can play a huge role in enabling that kind of omnichannel marketing. AI can help us track customer interactions across channels and personalize our messaging based on their preferences and behavior. And it can help us, automate marketing tasks so we could be more efficient and effective.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool when used correctly.
So let's shift gears a bit and talk about, some of the challenges that advertisers are facing in this, digital age.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, is measuring campaign effectiveness. With so many different touch points and channels, it can be difficult to track that customer journey and determine which marketing efforts are actually driving results.
Oh, absolutely. The days of relying solely on last-click attribution are over. Consumers rarely follow a linear path to purchase anymore. They might see your ad on social media, then they visit your website, then they sign up for your email list, and then finally they make a purchase a week later after clicking on a retargeting ad. So how do we track all those interactions and determine which ones actually influence that purchase decision?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
It is, and there's no easy answer. But there are a few things advertisers can do to get a more accurate picture of their campaign effectiveness. First, we need to move beyond those vanity metrics like impressions and clicks.
Right. Those metrics can be useful for, gauging initial interest.
But they don't tell us much about the overall impact of our campaigns. We need to focus on metrics that are tied to business outcomes.
Things like website conversions, lead generation sales, and customer lifetime value.
Exactly. We need to look at the bigger picture and understand how our campaigns are driving those real business results.
And to do that effectively, we need to have a solid attribution model in place.
Right. An attribution model is essentially a framework for assigning credit to different touch points in the customer journey. So it helps us understand which marketing efforts are most effective at driving conversions.
So instead of giving all the credit to the last click, we can distribute it across all the touch points that contributed to that conversion.
Exactly. And there are different types of attribution models out there, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. Some popular models include first-click attribution, linear attribution, time decay attribution. Choosing the right model for your business depends on your specific goals and the nature of your customer journey.
So you need to consider things like the length of your sales cycle, the number of touch points that are involved, and, the relative importance of different marketing channels.
It can be a complex process, but it's worth the effort. A well-chosen attribution model can provide invaluable insights into which marketing efforts are truly driving results.
And that information can help you, optimize your campaigns and allocate your budget more effectively. It's about making data-driven decisions.
Exactly. Another challenge that advertisers are facing is combating ad fatigue.
Yeah.
Consumers are bombarded with more and more ads every day, and they're becoming increasingly adept at tuning them out.
They're using ad blockers, skipping pre-roll videos, scrolling past sponsored content. So how do we break through the clutter and capture their attention?
First and foremost, you need to create ads that are relevant and engaging. Generic one-size-fits-all ads just aren't going to cut it anymore.
Right. You have to grab their attention from the first few seconds.
Yeah.
Use compelling visuals, strong storytelling, a clear call to action.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment with different formats and platforms. We also need to diversify our media mix. Don't rely too heavily on any one channel. Spread your budget across a variety of platforms to reach your audience in different contexts.
And, don't underestimate the power of frequency capping. This is a simple but effective way to limit the number of times a user sees your ad.
By finding that right balance between frequency and reach, you can ensure that your ads are seen by the right people at the right time without overwhelming them. It's about being strategic and thoughtful in your approach to advertising.
It's not just about throwing money at the problem. It's about understanding your audience, crafting compelling messages, and, using data to optimize your campaigns.
Exactly. These are just some of the challenges and opportunities that advertisers are facing in the digital age. It's a complex and ever-changing landscape. But by staying informed, being adaptable, and embracing innovation, we can all succeed. But, Google actually recently launched a new tool that's specifically for brand advertisers.
Oh, yeah, the brand report. It's this new dashboard in Google Ads that provides a unified view of your brand campaign performance.
Okay, so this sounds like a really valuable tool for advertisers who are, really focused on building brand awareness and loyalty. Can you tell us a little bit more about how it works?
So the key thing about the brand report is that it gives you these deduplicated reach and frequency metrics across multiple campaigns.
So you can see the true reach and frequency of your brand campaigns without having to piece together data from a bunch of different reports. It gets rid of all those data silos and gives you a much clearer understanding of how many people you are reaching and how often they're seeing your message.
That's huge. And what other kinds of insights does the brand report provide?
Well, you can actually filter the results by demographics like age and gender, so you get those more granular insights into your audience. You can see which demographics are engaging most with your brand campaigns, and then you can tailor your messaging accordingly.
So it's not just about reach and frequency, it's also about understanding your audience and optimizing your campaigns for, better performance.
Exactly. And the best part is it's super easy to access right there in your Google Ads dashboard.
So no more jumping between different tools and spreadsheets. That's a win for efficiency.
Absolutely. It streamlines the whole reporting process and makes it easier than ever to track and analyze your brand advertising efforts.
Okay, so this brand report sounds like it's a must-have for any advertiser who's serious about building a strong brand. Are there any limitations that we should be aware of?
Well, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, it's only available at the single account level right now, so no multi-account or MCC support just yet. And the metrics only cover a maximum of 92 days and up to 10,000 campaigns.
Okay, so there are some limitations in terms of scale, but it's still a really powerful tool for understanding your brand's performance.
Definitely. And each campaign needs to have at least 10,000 impressions for data to actually show up in the brand report.
That makes sense.
Yep.
They need a certain amount of data to actually generate those meaningful insights.
Right. And lastly, search, shopping, and performance max campaigns are currently excluded from the brand report.
So it's mainly focused on display and video campaigns for now.
For now. But, it's very likely that they'll expand it to include other campaign types in the future.
It seems like Google is constantly adding new features and updates.
They are. It's a lot to keep up with, but, it's also really exciting to see them constantly innovating and, providing us with these tools that help us achieve our marketing goals.
It's a testament to their commitment to, empowering businesses of all sizes to succeed in the digital landscape.
Absolutely.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground today, but I hope our listeners feel, empowered to tackle the challenges and opportunities of advertising in this, dynamic digital age.
I hope so, too. I hope they are excited about all the possibilities that are out there. It's a really exciting time to be in this field.
It really is. So before we wrap up, we want to encourage all of you to share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. We always love hearing from our listeners.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more digital marketing tips and insights.
Thank you all so much for listening. We will see you in the next episode.